doing catering and restaurant and fast food, I've always said it's the most difficult business you can ever get into because people are never happy about those things. So I'm just wondering how you've been managing your emotions, your expectations, and then three, the business. How are you juggling all of that?
Just like you said, it's a very difficult terrain that I am in because we all have different palettes. So you cannot satisfy everybody. To backtrack to what I said, no matter how difficult the transaction is, no matter how heavy the conversation was, finding a mutual way for us all live on a lighter note. So it's more of being a listener. Whatever it is that anybody has a challenge with, be it your service, the end results, getting through to your team, or being dissatisfied with the entire experience working with you, let people talk. Let people share their developmental feedback. Don't be defensive about it. Because I tell you this again, that emotions is something that falls all of us. So at that moment, you're filled up with whatever that happened. And sometimes it has nothing to do with you, but you were the last bit that they could vent their frustration on. And also being very empathetic. Because don't believe that what you give is the best. It's the best for you, but is it the best for them? So empathy is actually something that guides me in the way I approach all this hassle that comes with the business. Because, empathy. It might be good for me, my team, our values, what we believe, our goals, our objectives. But maybe in rendering the service, it might not have ticked everything for the client.
How much of the issues and the situations and the problems that happen in your life you carry? And how are you carrying that?
With grace. So much grace. Because my childhood hasn't been a pleasant one. It's something that I really don't talk about. In as much as I'm very transparent, people don't know the dynamics in which I was shaped. I was raised by a single mom for the most part of my life till I was 15. Then she got married to my stepdad. Amazing man. Amazing. I don't if there's any better word to describe Dr. William Henry Cotis Haniza. Help me. When he came into our life, it felt as though a young girl was carrying so many blocks of cement. I couldn't see them, of course, so it was in the mind. I felt as though someone has just taken something off me and my mom at once. So I feel a lot of people are carrying too much that we cannot see. Some don't even realize they're carrying. You know what I mean? So being in a position where I've carried, whether I knew at the time at a younger age, but now as an adult, I realized it was a weight. And with dynamics switching up, it became lesser. It made me juggle everything and everything else as though in that moment it's weight. What can shift that weight? Sometimes just a hug. Yeah.
Do you think the tough childhood has shaped you to the person you are today?
Absolutely, Derek. Absolutely. Because for me, everything that I've been through actually is something that I don't want anybody to ever have to deal with, not even my worst enemy. I don't wish it for anybody walking the surface of this earth. Anything I experience that is, it's not exciting, it's so bitter to swallow, I don't want it for anybody. So it's my mandate here on earth to be that person, that beacon of hope.
Wow.
That makes things lighter. Because I know what it feels to carry that weight. I know what it feels to go through it.
If you were to tap back in, what was the heaviest load you carried by yourself?
Not being able to spell my surname correctly. You know, names are important. And I've spelled my surname wrongly for as long as I can remember. to the extent that it's stuck there. Because I can't backtrack to my birth set to everything. No, I can't. That's the heaviest weight. Not knowing the right spelling of my surname.
Your own name.
Till I was 26, and someone had to correct me at the airport. So the name was like, what name are you answering to? Then I told the person, this is the name. He said, it strikes a chord, but this is not the right way. Then I said, okay, you tell me. And I was so upset. Because, I mean, it's my name. How dare you? Because, like, let's say, I don't have any better example, but there are certain surnames that sound the same, but they are spelled differently. So that was my defense. Like, what's going on here? Then she went on to ask where I come from. And I told her, and he was like, no. And showed me the right way to spell it. I didn't accept that. I moved on, but I had to research. And it reminded me of a time in primary school. Another teacher, who was a Nigerian teacher that came for visiting, also told me the same thing. By the time I was too young to. But then I was like, whoa, I had that flash image of that time. And I was like, whoa. I didn't even know it was weight.
But I mean, why couldn't you? Why couldn't you spell it? Were you? Why couldn't you?
I didn't grow up with my father. So my mom had met what at the time was the love of her life. Fast forward, they had a child. Before I turned 2, he was supposed to travel back to Nigeria for a quick something, whatnot. Never came back. And this is what I've been told. The name he gave me, because he named me, he was there when I was born, was actually the mother's name, something dear to him. The surname, however, the way he spelled it, whether it was not spelled right from the very day of birth, if you're a good dad, when the birth set comes, you will see it, you correct it. So that means what? You didn't pay attention to that. That means you're not detailed about even the child that you just had. Because when I had a baby, they did mistakes with the set. Because it's an error, it can happen. But
human error.
My husband saw it. Because he's named his children and it has to be spelled the right way. That's a father right there. That's a dad right there. So that's how, for me, now as an adult, I look at it that you were never there from the very beginning. Because you know how people can be there, but they're not present? He wasn't present. And that's just how I want to live it when it comes to that daddy part.